Hello and welcome to Rising Matchday this Saturday, the 3rd of July. I'm Owen Evans, looking ahead to tonight's game against LA Galaxy 2. Coming up on the show. Forcing his way into the first team plans after a stellar June, we hear more about Arturo Rodriguez. Things starting to shape up out west with no shortage of games around the Pacific Division. And tonight's opponent, the first time we'll see them this season, we take a look at LA Galaxy 2. But first, let's look back to last weekend as Rising took on Sacramento Republic. A second trip up to Northern California for Phoenix, they won 1-0 here last time in Sacramento, thanks to a goal from Santi Moa in the second half. A first half lead on the cards here, Solomon Asante standing over the free kick. Not too far out, he drives it home with relative ease. That one good enough to win goal of the week. Things would go from bad to worse for Sacramento. First, Rafael Diaz in goal, going down with an injury. He'd play on for a while, but ultimately couldn't make it to the half-time break. And then Sacramento down to 10 men. Fatay Alashe shown a red card after what appears to be a kick to the head of Arturo Rodriguez after that challenge. After the break, David Egbo getting his first goal in his first start for Rising, doubling the advantage. Not just his first Rising goal, but his first professional goal. He's on loan from Vancouver Whitecaps. It was Sacramento who would score next, Rising unable to deal with a corner, Dan Casey there to turn it in. There would be further chances there for Sacramento to bring it level, but they couldn't capitalise. Rising coming out on top as 2-1 winners. Here's a view from Rick after he watched the game back.
I think the first 10 minutes was a little bit back and forth only because we were playing too direct. And then I think once the game settled down, we earned the right to play and we're very good. Even before the red card, I think we created a lot of good opportunities. We looked very sharp in our possession. And then Solo's free kick obviously takes the pressure off of us a little bit. Arturo draws the red card and now it was extremely important for us to understand the moment. And I told the guys at halftime, we have to get a second goal. You can't go out here playing that like we're trying to win 1-0. Once we got the second goal, I think that was a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy. And sometimes when you tell a team a second goal will kill the opponent, the players think it. And so I think we took our foot off the gas a little bit at 2. But Arturo has a chance for a third. And if he finishes that game could have ended 5 or 6. But I think the boys played extremely well. And then we just got a little bit frantic at the end and we just had to hold on.
So Rising take it 2-1 in Sacramento, winning for just the second time up there, both coming this season. Republic only managed one shot on target in the end, that being their goal. Of course, Rising playing up a man for a large chunk of that match, so perhaps not a surprise to see the stats in their favour. So it was a first start for David Egbo, but also for Arturo Rodriguez, who's forced his way into the starting lineup after a series of impressive performances off the bench. But what exactly does he bring to this side?
Well, he gave us a different, offensive look. He's fresh, he's creative, he takes risks. We like playing with him, obviously, but we have seen, everybody that comes into the pitch, whether it's Arturo, Calistri, John, Jeremy, Kelly, everybody, has different qualities, and all of them, help us to get results. And at the end of the day, we'll need different looks to get wins.
Well, Rick Shant's often liking to tout that he picks his players in no small part due to their performances on the training pitch, not just on the field on a Saturday. But how exactly does that work?
When John was starting and Arturo was coming in and doing really well for 25, 30 minutes, then the following week you want to give them opportunities. So the way we do this is on Wednesday and Thursday is mostly our tactical days. So Wednesday we'll play 11v11 against each other. And we usually do 3 or 4 minute bouts, and we'll do 5 or 6 of them. And depending on how well the guys are doing that are competing, you'll change the lineup 5 or 6 times on a Wednesday. And that sends the message to the group that it's up for grabs. But if somebody's really solid and has been performing extremely well, like a Kevin Lambert, and he's with the first group 6 straight games, it kind of sends the message to the guy behind him that I've got to do more. Aside from multiple conversations that I have with the guys, before, after, during training, to make sure that they're aware of where their standing is, rather than just evaluating and putting on a board or piece of paper. So we're constantly communicating what we need from them to improve. So if a guy comes out and has a great performance on Saturday, does he get a pass the following week? No, he still has to compete. And as long as he doesn't, just look awful and put no effort and no desire, but these are professionals. And if they do that, they wouldn't be here.
Another Rising player making their first start on Saturday, Loney Tate Schmidt, replacing Ryan Flood at the back. How did he perform?
I thought he was very, very good. He's very different than Ryan Flood in a sense that I think Tate is a little more confident on the ball. We know Ryan is very technical, very capable, but he hasn't played a lot of really, really high-level games. So he keeps things very simple, which is great. But we now, when you play a ball to Tate, he feels a little more comfortable taking a few touches, coming inside on the dribble, splitting lines with passes. And it really helps Santi, I think, because now you have another option getting forward. And we've been working with Ryan, telling him that he has to get forward more, get in behind Santi. And Ryan likes to make those long, lengthy runs and then whip in his crosses. But he has to stay connected to Santi. So that's he's going to learn and improve. What I'm really happy about is Tate can not only do it at left back or midfield or left center back, but he's showing that physically he's capable of competing at this level for sure. And he makes our team a little bit better.
Well, before we take a look around the Pacific Division, a couple of roster updates. Declan Wynn, the New Zealander left back who's yet to make an appearance on the pitch for Rising, loaned out to OKC Energy. Jeremy Kelly, recalled by his parent club Colorado Rapids. And Kevin Lambert, widely expected to miss time this summer off at the CONCACAF Gold Cup. He didn't make the final cut for Theodore Whitmore's Jamaica squad, so will remain here in Phoenix. Now, let's take a look around the rest of the division. We'll start in Oakland, Roots hosting Austin Bold at Las Positas College due to field issues at their usual stadium. Visitors getting a good chance early, and even the referee thinking this one went in. Owain Gordon's effort hitting the side netting instead. The frustration there, perhaps a common theme throughout this game. Oakland managed just one shot on target all match, despite controlling the possession, this game ending 0-0. Tacoma and LA Galaxy 2 meeting on Sunday. After a goalless first half, Defiance with a corner that's just not dealt with by the Los Dos defence. It bounces around, there's a weak goal line clearance, and Ray Serrano on hand to turn it in. Shortly after, it's Serrano again. Josh Drack tries to get his body in the way, but can't do much to stop it. 2-0 to the hosts, and that's how it'd finish. Over to San Diego, they were hosting Oakland on Tuesday. Again, goalless through much of this game, but substitute Miguel Ibarra comes in and gives his side the lead with less than 20 minutes to play. An impressive strike and the only one in this game, Loyal taking it 1-0. And finally, Orange County without their key man Ronaldo Damas. He featured for Haiti in their Gold Cup prelim yesterday. But they still got off to a positive start against Switchbacks on Thursday. Brent Richards' ball across to Eero Markkanen there, who had no issues nodding it in to put his side up 1-0. That's how he did stay for much of the match, before Eric Calvillo running right around the Colorado Springs defence. He lays it off, gets the ball back, and while the strike isn't the prettiest, it was enough to seal the 3 points for OC, 2-0 on the night. So let's take a look at the table now. Rising, maintaining top spot with a 2-point cushion. Orange County and San Diego right behind. Tacoma's win over LA Galaxy 2 sees the gap for 4th spot close to just a point, with Defiance having 3 games in hand over Los Dos. Sacramento and Vegas not making up any ground this week, while a point in 2 games for Oakland not enough to pick them up off of bottom place. A few games tonight, San Diego Loyal and Sacramento facing off at 4, that one on ESPN2, Vegas hosting Tacoma, Lights getting the result the last time those two sides met. Tacoma then travel to Orange County on Tuesday, while Sacramento will host Oakland on Wednesday. So looking to this week for Rising, what has been the feeling amongst the boys? Here's Santi Moa.
I mean, every time we come off a win, it's a great mood, especially when we come back home. We know we are playing in front of our fans, and we have a rival that really suits us. And I think we prove it. We prove it for the last few years that we turn it up when we play against LA Galaxy. So hopefully this year is no different.
And finally, what are we expecting to see out of this LA Galaxy 2 side?
Yeah, very, very good individually. Good on the break. They've got some fantastic players. I think I want to say it's Gonzalez on the right wing is if you give him any time or space, he's going to kill you. He comes inside and combines really well. They've got some veteran center backs. Judd is a new number 9 for them. That's a handful. He's very fast, very powerful. But again, they're very young. And when you play these young teams, you have to dominate them physically and you have to intimidate them. You have to be aggressive and get them to get out of their game. And I think we watched them in Seattle yesterday, and Seattle pressed the living daylights out of them, and it kind of took them out of their build-up, and it made things difficult for them. So now you come to our field, it's a little bit bigger, it's a little harder to press. There's a lot more space. Maybe they'll have some joy, but I think that for us in transition, they like to send their fullbacks high, and if Josh Drack plays, he likes to get forward a lot. A player that I've always kind of admired and really wanted to sign, to be honest, and before he got drafted. But if he gets really high, then that's going to make it difficult because Solo's going to be waiting. And if we catch them in transition, we might get some good opportunities.
Well, it's a team that really likes to possess the ball, take risks from the back. Hopefully we can really expose them in transition moments. I think it will be a game that is going to be open, but they will have also chances because offensively They are really, really good, really fast wingers and creative, midfielders. So definitely a challenge, but hopefully we can take advantage of our experience.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Tonight's match, a 7:30 p.m. kickoff at Wild Horse Pass. Enjoy the match. Goodbye.